One thing I personally have always enjoyed learning about is pirates and the Illuminati. I'm going to read a little bit from this book from Robert Sepehr, 1666, Redemption Through Sin, Chapter 4. Whenever we see a pirate ship on television, in movies, or in comic books, we also see an extremely ancient symbol, the skull and crossbones. This symbol, however, was not always of death or poison, but instead it had another occult meaning. The official symbol of the Skull and Bones Secret Society is a human skull sitting atop two human bones crossed like an X, underneath of which is the number 322. People throughout the world have speculated as to the true meaning of 322, which according to Anthony Sutton goes back to ancient times. Let's talk about that. 322. The order is descended from a Greek fraternal society dating back to Demosthenes in 322 BC. This has perhaps some credibility because Bones records are dated by adding 322 to the current year, i.e., records originating in 1950 are dated Anno Demosthenes 2272. And then I got this little thing from a article online, and I'll put the link in there, from Philip Gardner, ancientpages.com. I found a strange tale that is told by most Templar researchers to link the symbol to them, and this tale surprisingly involves the number 9, a Mother Earth image, and a skull. In The Holy Blood and the Grail, Biogen, Lee, and Lincoln tell the tale. A great lady of Maraclea was loved by a Templar, a lord of Sidon. But she died in her youth, and on the night of her burial, this wicked lover crept to the grave, dug up her body, and violated it. Then a voice from the void bade him return in 9 months' time, for he would find a son. He obeyed the injunction, and at the appointed time he opened the grave again and found a head on the leg bones of the skull and crossbones. The same voice bade him guard it well, for it would be the giver of all good things. And so he carried it away with him. It became his protecting genius, and he was able to defeat his enemies by merely showing them the magic head. In due course, it passed to the possession of the order. And I have some pictures. I'll put the actual thing where you can see they're actually got the skulls. Back to page 34. What's interesting about this is that the port of Sidon was known historically as a nest of pirates, even being labeled as such by Constantine Porphyrogenitus, 905 to 959 AD. Pirates famously used the skull and bones on their flags. Jolly Roger is the traditional English name for these flags. The links between the Templars and Sidon are strong. Templars were highly commercial and indeed linked to slavery. So was Sidon, as the slave trade continued there after the fall of slavery elsewhere. In Genesis, Sidon is a son of Canaan, a grandson of Noah. It is located in modern-day Lebanon, known in ancient times as Phoenicia. The Phoenicians traveled far beyond the Pillars of Hercules. Greek historians recorded that they circumnavigated Africa and even had links to the British Isles. But is it possible they went much farther than that? Most archaeologists still cannot explain ancient traces of drugs from the New World, such as cocaine and tobacco, in Egyptian mummies. Perhaps the secretive Phoenicians who jealously guarded their secret trade routes may have been behind this mysterious transatlantic trade. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if they were behind the false propaganda of a flat earth, deliberately spreading fear to steer away potential competition to what may actually have been an ancient trade monopoly. That's how they do things these days, is they monopolize everything so that they can make all the money. The Templars themselves likely knew the earth was round, as the Kabbalah clearly stated it. There is an interesting story of a stone found in Brazil with etchings on it ascribed to the Phoenicians, who were said to have set sail around Africa and wound up on the shores of Brazil during the 19th year of the reign of King Hiram, some 500 years BC. These etchings have become known as Paraíba stone inscription of Brazil, written in ancient Phoenician. The translation reads, "We are the children of Canaan, from Sidon of the eastern kingdom of merchants, and are cast, I pray, here beside a central land of mountains, with this offered choice gift to the Most High gods of goddesses in the year 19 of King Hiram. I pray, still strong from the valley of Ezion Geber of the Red Sea. Thereby we journeyed with 10 ships, and we are at sea together assuredly 2 years around the land of Ham. We were separated by the hand of Baal, and no longer remained among our companions. I pray we have come here 12 men and 3 women at this new land. Devoted, I make even whom men of wealth bow the knee, a pledge to the Most High gods and goddesses with sure hope." I'll skip a bunch of this, but it does say that plenty of skeptics will say that story is a hoax. But my point is that I wanted to get to this part where it's talking about the different ones that came to America. And I believe these things to be true. This one on page 37, the Phoenicians had a strong presence in North America and on the Iberian Peninsula, particularly at the Pillars of Hercules and Gibraltar. Archaeologists have found a temple to Hercules at the entrance of the Mediterranean in what is now called Gorham's Cave. Many researchers believe that the twin columns Boaz and Jachin, Jachin, from the Phoenician design Solomon's Temple are in fact a representation of the Pillars of Hercules, a secret symbol of the Phoenicians planted in the heart of Jerusalem itself. A notorious secret society at Yale University goes by the name of Skull and Bones. The alumni organization that owns the property and oversees the organization is officially called the Russell Trust Association, named after General William Huntington Russell, who was one of the co-founders of the association in 1832, along with Alphonso Taft, father of President William H. Taft. At first, the society held its meetings in hired halls Then in 1856, the tomb, a vine-covered, windowless, brownstone hall, was constructed where to this day the bonesmen hold their strange occultist initiation rites and meet bi-weekly. On September 29, 1876, a group calling itself the Order of File and Claw broke into the Skull and Bones Holy of Holies. In the tomb, they found Lodge Room 324 fitted up in black velvet, even the walls being covered with material. Upstairs was Lodge Room 322, the sanctum sanctorium of the temple, furnished in red velvet, with a pentagram on the wall. In the hall were pictures of the founders of Bones at Yale and the members of the Society in Germany when the chapter was established here in 1832. We'll skip over some of that, but I just wanted to point out that the Templars had control of a lot of the shipping, and it says that they became acquainted with the Kabbalah and learned the mysterious teachings of various other Jewish and Sufi sects. The Hermetic Kabbalah, the skull and bones, relate to the Chi Rho, symbolizing time, death, and rebirth. According to Egyptologist Sir Flinders Petrie, the Chi Rho was the emblem of the Egyptian god Horus. On the coinage during and after Constantine's death, we see the Chi Rho underlined with a serpent, a symbol used through time and especially by the Gnostics and alchemists for wisdom and enlightenment process. So anyway, I will try to wrap it all up and help you see what I'm getting at, is that today we see the likes of like George Bush and different ones that we consider the Illuminati, and different ones have already outlined how almost all of our presidents are connected by their birth and lineage. And so nothing happens in a vacuum. We see the stories of the people coming to this new world and creating a society, and then we get the golden history of all these good people coming here. But then you learn that, and it's in the movies, where all of these things were, these people like George Washington and a lot of his cronies were all in the Masons. Like I said, the pirates, their symbology shows that they were part of the Illuminati. And it's all part of this. We all think that everything is just happenstance, and we have to understand that everything is being manipulated to bring about this new world order. Today, events are manipulated. This use of AI to control us and monitor every aspect of our lives. It's all by design. People go along with it because our Bibles have been hijacked. Our theology has been hijacked. And so people believe that this is the way things are supposed to be working out. And like I said, they go along with it because they think that they're going to be raptured away and none of this is going to bother them. not understanding that even if the Lord delays, right now we have systems in place to where if you don't believe or adhere to the way that they want you to believe or do or think, they can take away your livelihood. Yesterday I got in the mail this thing from the Social Security. It's pretty dismal if you think about it. And so I want to leave you with this. A lot of times I feel like maybe my videos are too depressing because I tell you what's happening and everything. But I forget to remind you all that God sees what's happening, and we have a very important tool in our arsenal, and that is prayer. When you wake up in the morning, first thing you need to do is seek the Lord. Seek first the kingdom of heaven. Like I said, that was pretty dismal to see the menial bit of money that I will get when I'm retiring or supposed to retire. I think sometimes it'd be better if I just die, and that's what they're hoping for. I mean, Lord forbid they have to give somebody $1,000 a month, right? That's about what I'd be getting. And it's depressing, and it makes me want to kind of give up and say, woe is me. But again, I have an advocate in heaven. His name is Jesus Christ. And he says not to worry about tomorrow. But he also didn't tell us to sit on our laurels and do nothing about what's happening. And that's the reason why I'm trying to use what little bit of a voice I have left with this stupid sickness. And I also have goiters, if you haven't noticed. But what little bit I have left, I'm going to continue to speak out and tell people what's going wrong, so that hopefully those with the know-how and the ability can hear it and maybe do something about it. But like I said, our biggest advocate is Jesus Christ, and he might tolerate something for a season, but he won't tolerate it for very long. Love y'all, and I'll talk to you later.